Hey Ma, do you know what bursts my bubble?
What burst your bubble?
Um, the fact that, do you think poor mental health can affect your physical health?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like I've been in poor mental health for my whole life. I feel like in a way, I kind of feel like I've been unloved, at least by peers and friends and women. And I feel like I've been isolated in like solitary confinement. And I feel like, I'm going to develop something like cancer, an aneurysm, dementia, so something life-threatening. Do you think that's a possibility?
No, I don't think that poor mental health necessarily leads to those kind of things. But it can lead to...
I did actually read on the internet, for example, that bad mental health is deadlier than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. So if you're like sitting in solitary confinement day after day,
Happiness,
yeah,
like feeling happy about things,
yeah,
really helps us with endorphins and a positive, outlook on things. So, but I don't necessarily think it absolutely has to be that you're so much loved, but that you're feeling support and kindness. I think that too can give endorphins.
No, yeah.
Support systems.
Yeah, and I feel like for a long period of time I've been very isolated. I've been sitting solitary, and it's very frustrating. And
but let me ask you: do you have opportunity to?
Yeah, I mean,
that?
ultimately, nobody is holding me at gunpoint, in solitude. It's my choice, and I got to take accountability for that, But ultimately,
but you got to be in it to win it. So you can change that.
Right.
But sometimes when you're feeling low,
mm-hmm.
it's hard to push yourself past that mark to get into the green.
Yeah, and I know something I often think. People are getting sadistic pleasure from my suffering, and like I'm told, by Dr. Garrett, for example, there's no women out there, there's no friends from years ago, there's no, even my parents, nobody is getting sadistic pleasure from watching me pour my life down the drain.
If anything, people feel bad.
Right. I'm frustrated, extremely frustrated. And it feels like people are doing this to me intentionally, but ultimately,
You're doing it to yourself.
I'm doing it to myself. Right? It's like a baby. When a baby is hungry because they're dependent, they blame their hunger on their parents because their parents feed them. You know what I mean? In a way, since I am a 35-year-old dependent adult child, I'm hungry and I want friends from years ago, like ex-girlfriends, you, dad, to feed me, and I'm like, why isn't Mommy feeding me? Why isn't Daddy feeding me? Why aren't ex-girlfriends feeding me? They must be sadistic monsters who are, depriving me of a life to torture me, which is not the case. Actually, that's not the case.
All right, let me just reverse this for you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a significant other in your life, and that person wanted you to constantly go to the store for them,
mm-hmm.
go to the doctor for them. Every time they called, they needed you to do this, they needed you to do that. They blamed you for everything. Wouldn't that be smothering to you?
It's unnatural to be involuntarily celibate. It's unnatural to be unloved by a woman, especially or whoever. You could. There are obviously people who are in homosexual relationships, but it's unnatural to not really have an intimate partner at 35 years old. You're meant to be independent from your parents. You're meant to. You're meant to have intimacy. I feel like I've been. I feel like I've been involuntarily celibate.
But that's your own doing.
Yeah. No.
In other words, if you're making yourself attractive, you will have people attracted to you. If you're making yourself a whiny, blame everybody.
Right.
Take
take accountability. Take responsibility. And even the psychiatric medications, I know Dr. Copland says the medications turn off T-cell surveillance. So when you're manic, for example, your body is inflamed and it causes cancer. By taking the medications, it actually prevents cancer. I don't know, that's what he says. But
makes sense.
But
cancer is inflammation.
He says the medications do not cause cancer, they prevent cancer. But taking a mega regimen for so many years seems a little unnatural in my opinion. But that is what it is. I feel like it, and I was AOT ordered to take the medications. I'm just afraid I'm going to get cancer. I feel like I've suffered for 35 years, and when my life gets good,
which is worse? First of all, medications that he's talking.
we got to wrap this up because because time is running out.
Okay, well, like I said, positive thinking, happy thinking, putting yourself out there is what's going to cause happier feelings in your body, endorphins and happiness, and no inflammation. And that is the step to moving forward and feeling happy.
And that is what it is.